Welcome to Flatfoots and Fools, a podcast about detective games. We're jumping right back into our discussion of Ace Attorney, Justice for All. I'm not going to call it Trials and Tribulations again. And we are joined by John and Lynx.
Hello.
Hello.
Brief trigger warning reminder, or content warning. Case 3 features some significant underage romance, and there's some fairly graphic depictions of self-harm in Case 4. So if anything like that isn't good for you, I recommend skipping those cases. And now, on to the show. All right, shall we dive into Case 3? So, content warning for Case 3, serious underage romance here, possibly just Japan things, but we'll go into that. So, this one feels like the odd one out to me. Like Case 3 in the previous one, the previous game, the Steel Samurai, the investigation phase here really dragged for me. I don't know if you guys felt the same way.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Turnabout Big Top. It's a circus instead of a movie production studio, but there are a lot of locations. They're connected in Byzantine ways, and people are in very different locations depending on when you need to talk to them. You just kind of have to tromp around and find who you need to find. Oh boy. And then you don't really want to find them.
I feel like the characters are more annoying than usual.
Yeah, they're like, I guess circus performers need to be caricatures, I guess.
Like annoying caricatures.
Yeah. As opposed to the consistently solid characterization of
Right.
most characters in this game. The circus performers of Turnabout Big Top are not fun to talk to.
While it makes sense, it's just like, I don't want to talk to you, man. I don't. That's my job.
Yeah, this is one of the ones that having all the profiles really came back to bite me, because the way to progress the story often was like go to this character and ask them about this other character.
Show them
Yeah.
a picture.
Every single time was like, I don't get why showing them this person was something I would have known to do. I feel like I would have just started going down the list and showing you all of them until something happened.
The Shaggy defense. It wasn't me.
This was the worst case of that for me.
This is the worst case. You could stop the sentence right there.
Well, that too. So is this the one that's regarded as the worst case of the entire series?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that go around the internet, and of the two games so far, I kind of have to agree.
I agree. But it does have some things that stand out to me. When Nick says to Maya, don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. I have said that phrase many more times in my life than I want to. And the ending of this one is just, everyone's just a fucking victim.
It's such a tragedy.
Like, it's such a tragedy. It's depressing in such a real way. Other than the ringmaster, like I guess the ringmaster's a victim because he got murdered. But everybody's a victim. Everyone's like, I see. Even though you did what you did, you're still a bastard for that. But like, grief is such a big thing in my life nowadays, where like I'm more sympathetic to things. And this one was just, it's hard not to be able to understand why they do in almost all aspects of it, even though I don't agree with their actions.
It's very fair.
I mean, I hear you. The grief affecting people's actions is real, and I don't want to discount that, even for a lot of the motivations of fictional characters. But the reason this case happened was because a grown-ass man was gonna murder a 16-year-old. Doesn't hit good for me.
No, it does not. It's dumb. It's super dumb.
Yeah, and he's getting vengeance for him being maimed and his brother getting killed by a lion because of a prank gone wrong.
Put in a coma, but it's essentially killed.
Yeah, it's all bad. It's all don't get me wrong with that. Like, I'm not defending them.
And then the only reason the victim in this case is the victim they are, the ringmaster of the circus, is because it was an accident.
Okay, man. So I guess my point is like, have a conversation with people. Therapy's great, man. How much of this shit could have been like, how much of this shit could have been dealt with if you just talked about what happened instead of bottling up?
They barely have enough money to keep the circus running. You think they have enough money for therapy?
Is therapy free in Japan?
Therapy's trusting your friends, man.
I mean, yeah.
The basic form of therapy is just trusting your friends, and you're like, hey, what's wrong? Let's talk about it. Instead of hitting somebody with a bottle of orange juice.
Or bashing them on the head, a child on the head with a heavy box that you went out and commissioned. Custom heavy box
That was not a box.
to do this murder.
Was it a crate?
That's not what it hit him.
Well, the bust is the murder weapon. The reason the box was important at all is because it's extremely heavy. So, like, and it had to be special made. I'm pretty sure they like make a specific note of that
Oh yeah.
in the like denouement of the case, because he had to, Acro, the murderer, had to make sure that anyone who saw it would stoop down to like pick it up.
It was just the marker.
Like, that's cold. That's
Yeah.
really cold. Like, there are so many steps that you could take between something bad happening to you and you deciding to kill someone else, but like there's so much premeditation in this
Oh
murder.
yes, I agree with you on that.
That just didn't. You could have put that brain power into anything else.
This one, so much back and forth because you're called in to defend the magician who's accidentally framed for this murder as well. I don't even think it was intentional.
And what is the magician's name?
Oh.
Maximilian Galactica.
Objection! It is not Maximilian Galactica.
Yeah.
His name is Bob Johns. They say his name twice. Because even the judge is like, nah, that name sucks.
Nope.
It sucks so bad. Listen, Max Galactica is a gender, and he's allowed to take that gender for himself and change his, seems to be extremely backwater origin story. He can reinvent himself in the circus.
I did like how people were code switching between their different personalities, like Maximilian, and then changing back to like Yokel, Billy Bob, mode transferring over from like clown mode to serious mode. And like this one, I think, is the only one that really does that, where the characters, like, they're layered. But overall, this case sucked.
Sucked to play, sucked to read about how not only was Max Galactica extremely gay, like, this is a queer icon who is being set up by the plot, a 25-year-old gay man to marry a 16-year-old girl. He wanted to ask her father, the ringmaster's hand in marriage for his daughter. Also, Regina, the ringmaster's daughter, object of this whole case, had a crush on Bat, Crow's brother, Crow and Bat. I need to check on his age. He's too old. Then the other character that we've, I guess, avoided talking about this whole time, fucking Ben and Trilo, the ventriloquist and his puppet. It's not the man that has the crush on Regina. It's the puppet.
Oh, I obliterated that from my mind.
Ben is 35.
Oh,
35 years old. This case did not have to happen.
But it still did, damn it.
Oh, can we move on to case 4, please?
Please. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
I want to talk about the return of the Silver Samurai, and then I realized it's Mythical Samurai.
So, we're going to move on to case 4, but this is the one with the graphic pictures of self-harm that show up, I believe, multiple times. So
they only have the one picture of her.
They don't actually show it, but it's enough.
Apparently. Yeah. Okay, 2 pictures of her. But
so be warned that that's coming on this case. But now when we dive into it, this is a bit of an odd one because the structure changes throughout. You have 2 days of investigation and 2 days of trial, sort of like the second case. You're like, all right, so what's the difference? Well, the first day, you spend your time trying to prove your client is innocent. And on the second day, you spend the day working with the now prosecuting Miles Edgeworth, because Von Karma gets shot specifically and injured, to delay the trial as much as possible because your client turns out to be guilty.
What? What a twist.
You have to defend him because Maya has been kidnapped. That's a crucial point.
Yeah. So the setup for this is your client hires a hitman to kill his rival because his rival is planning on exposing a bunch of his misdeeds. And the hitman follows a very strict code. He comes in, he does the hit, and he leaves his hitman card. One of the managers, who has her own set of problems, and we're not going to get into the problems with, like, what was it, being an extremely dependent person. She comes in and then attempts to change the scene to frame someone else, removing the hitman's card so that it's not an obvious hit. And the hitman's like, oh shit, well, my client is now actually being framed for the murder he commissioned. I better incentivize the defense attorney to work his hardest, so I'll kidnap his friend.
His precious thing.
Yes. And so
Precious.
you end up now having to work extra hard to try and keep the actually guilty person out of jail because otherwise the hitman will whack your friend.
When we say whack, we mean murder.
And because Maya is gone, then you get the mechanics of Pearls following you around again, which is not nice to this 8-year-old child to just drag her around from murder scene to murder scene, but she really wants to help.
Counterpoint.
Objection!
You remember in the first case, Pearl ran like 80 miles or something to get there? Like, there's no stopping. Pearl.
That's true.
To get to the court, like, she's like, what's a train?
She walked the entire...
She ran, she said. She ran.
That's true. Yeah, okay. She has more stamina than Phoenix, never mind.
Pearl's a treasure and I will not stand slander.
You mean you don't podcast
She reminds me so
standing?
much of my niece.
You're gonna want to sit down for this.
Also, I enjoyed how Pearl cannot read cursive.
I mean, can anyone under the age of 30?
I was taught in third
That's a-
grade to
I
read
was
and write
also taught.
cursive.
Same, but I obliterated it from my brain because I haven't used it
89.
since then.
I want to say that maybe there's a localization thing happening here where like Pearls can't read kanji. Maybe.
Oh, that's true.
I can't confirm that though. I'd have to check.
Ah, that would line up.
She's in a traditional household. It's all kanji there.
That would be the only explanation I could see for a minor plot point we didn't touch on for case 2, where
Sure.
she apparently can't read the name on the sacred jar holding the remains of the ancestor of the Fae clan, Ami Fae. Whereas in the English localization, it just says Ami, A-M-I. And I could definitely read those 3 letters by the time I was 8. But if the original Japanese were perhaps a complicated name kanji, I would definitely not put it past an 8-year-old child to not be able to read that if she hadn't been taught. Anyway, Pearls is great.
Pearls is great.
So this fourth case, quite odd. This is where the sort of dramatic reveal thing ended up undermining things for me, because by the second day, you do your investigation and you go into the trial and you eventually call the assassin who has been communicating with you on a walkie-talkie as a witness in court.
Gotta have a weird witness. Gotta have some kooky witness in your game.
Wait, what do you mean by didn't work for you?
Well,
You mean that cookie witness part?
not the cookie witness part. The part that didn't work was very early on. I'm like, hang on. I know that the guy who commissioned the hit deliberately planted a camera to spy on the assassin in order to blackmail him. I can reveal that to him. Well, you can't reveal that to him until the game sets up for you to reveal that to him. I tried multiple times before that, but the game punished me for doing that.
Yeah, it's definitely something that the player can figure out way before Phoenix does for some reason.
Yeah, and it doesn't let you short circuit the mystery, even though that would work logically.
Objection.
Objection!
I would argue that this case is the linchpin of all of Phoenix Wright, and probably, like, now that I've replayed it, now that I'm older, everything that comes after this is from the philosophy of this game, from the name, and it doesn't make sense until Edgeworth comes out. The reason why you cannot show the assassin what's going on is because Nick still feels a moral and ethical obligation to defend his client. He loses why Nick is upset at Edgeworth.
Yeah.
The reason for that is Edgeworth says that, like, your hatred for me is quite unhealthy. It's also one-sided. Edgeworth leaves because in the first game, he realizes, like, winning isn't everything. And in my own notes, like, I'm very unhappy in the whole universe building because all the prosecutors, it's all about win, win, win. Both Von Karmas are about that. And Edgeworth realizes, like, yo, my duty is to the truth. And Edgeworth looks at Nick and believes as, like, what does he say? It doesn't matter. Every person deserves a proper defense and trial. Whereas Nick says, like, I thought I could save people who are suffering and in pain. Then Edgeworth's response, like, we aren't some sort of heroes. We're only human, right? Like, the title Justice for All hinges on this belief. And you show that you can't incriminate your client because he's still, at that point of the game, Nick still believes that his role is to the defense of his client, not the defense of the truth. That's why Edgeworth is upset with him. That's why Nick was upset with Edgeworth at the beginning, because he believes that Edgeworth left his post as a prosecutor, I would argue. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk.
I really like that interpretation.
Yep.
Been waiting 2 hours to say this.
Oh, even longer than that. And I think it also made it harder because the structure of the first game, you have the original cases, there's the ending point, and then they add the 5th bonus case, which in theory takes
Mhm.
place significantly in the future. So it disrupts their timeline of the relationship between Edgeworth and Phoenix.
I'm not sure that case 5 of game 1 is necessarily set far in the future, although I suppose that would make a little more sense. Yeah, the fact that case 4, the original ending of game 1, ends with Miles Edgeworth having disappeared, leaving a note that specifically says Miles Edgeworth chooses death.
She's a death.
What I interpreted to have Phoenix being so upset because what? You're just going to commit suicide and not tell me? And then come back a year later with no words, no apology? You could have given me a heads up this whole time you weren't dead?
Right, like,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
makes sense narratively, but then
Yeah.
if you then drop another case in the middle of that, which has
Mhm.
the 2 of them behaving pretty friendly to each other?
Makes sense for having been written not then.
Yeah, so it was like this weird thing of, like, you have this dramatic ending, then the 2 of them are really friendly, and now all of a sudden Nick is butthurt at Miles Edgeworth, and Edgeworth is like, "Dude, you're messed up," and I'm like, "Wait a minute, where did the butthurt come from? You were already friendly."
Yeah, it's definitely because the writers of case 2 were only taking into account cases 1 through 4 of game 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Just a weird moment there. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I like that headcanon that case 5 of game 1 actually takes place in the future sometime.
I mean, we know it was physically built in the future relative to
Right.
this one, and it's probable that it takes place later in the timeline.
It must if Phoenix and Edgeworth are still mad at each other.
Details. Yeah, so this case is quite weird because it changes the way you think about what you're supposed to do.
Mhm.
Because usually you're trying to push or defend the defendant and push the witnesses as much as possible. And then for the second day, you end up trying to stall instead and not push some of the witnesses and not force a specific conclusion.
Specifically because you're trying to give Gumshoe, who has been fired, enough time, and I suppose the police force in general, enough time to find the Maya finds the kidnapper before the kidnapper, Shelley the killer,
That's
kills her. And in the meantime, there's a whole bit about the past, why this hit even happened in the first place,
mhm.
your client, Matt Ongard, and his rival, Juan Corrida, and their managers, Adrian Andrews and Celeste Impax. It is discussing Celeste in particular, her suicide, that the very graphic image of her hanging herself and her client, Juan Corrida, finding her, that the content warning comes into play here. Apparently, yeah, there's only the one image of Celeste Impacts, or two. There's her headshot, and then there's that picture. Like, come on. Could we not have had, like,
Just
literally anything else about this woman, please? Adrian Andrews is very clearly very gay for her. Like, give them something.
Yeah.
it was a very effective picture.
Yeah, effective is one way to put it.
I learned why people take off their shoes before doing stuff like that. I went down that rabbit hole, unfortunately.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. Taking off your shoes before doing self-harm. Whole thing. I'm still more on the mind of like everyone deserves a proper trial thing.
And I mean, at least they gave her a nice name, even if it, like, Celeste, she's up in heaven, impacts
Oh
in peace.
God, that goes back to the clowns becoming stars. Oh no.
Oh God, I forgot about the
Oh,
clown. Why did you bring that back to my brain?
not the clown, but like, Regina Berry going like, when they die, they become stars. Oh shit.
That was what was in my head this whole time. You're telling me?
It was or was not.
It was.
Oh, I just figured that
The
out.
person named
No.
Requiescat in Pacem impacts. It's the dead one? Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, okay, moving on. At
Anyway.
least this time they were playing Spirit Tag. That was cool.
Yeah, that was a really cool use of the spirit channeling mechanic because you have Maya who's kidnapped and Pearl with you. Mia Fey is apparently very excited to act as an intermediary to, help save her sister. And just channeled by one of them or the other.
Could you imagine Mia just being in like afterlife waiting room going like, well, just got called my sister. I gotta read this stuff.
And I also enjoy them sticking to the lore about Maya being the head of the Fae clan because she's the most powerful spirit summoner. Like at one point, Mia is chatting with Phoenix, having been channeled by Pearl, but then suddenly she's just gone. And Pearl makes reference to the fact that, oh, an even powerful force summoned Mia away from me. Yeah, it was Maya. She's great. She's so powerful. She's good at her job.
Any more thoughts on this case before we wrap up?
Oh my god. Yeah, no, we cannot end discussion of this case without discussion of one of the more pervasive memes of all time. I think comes from this case specifically because case 4 of game 2, in fact, there is an alternate bad ending.
Oh
In
yeah,
which
yeah.
you late in the trial, you have the option, like the choice to either go with what the game wants you to do, which will get you the normal ending of allow Matt on guard to potentially be declared guilty, or stick with your guns, go with the bad ending, or as John referenced earlier, like going against the spirit of the game to double down on getting Matt on guard declared not guilty. And if you do that, there's a whole cutscene about it. And there's text about how Phoenix runs out of the courtroom and can't be a lawyer anymore. And the miracle of finding the way through the situation that you've been talking about with Mia this whole time. As the game phrases it in the original official translation, the miracle never happened.
Ooh.
I want to expand on that.
Happen, not happened. It's a typo in like the most dramatic, most poignant screen in the entire game, and they made a typo on it.
Oh,
It's like all your base art belong to us. These things are gems.
Yes, it's worse and better than that at the same time because it's just so jarring and out of place that the miracle never happened. It became a widespread meme.
I would argue that that choice hits a lot different because you remember, like, if you say he's not guilty, you're doing it so Maya doesn't get murdered.
Mhm.
That, and like, it's your job as a defense attorney. It really is like, does the player understand what the game is trying to tell you? Or at least the narrative of the game, like justice for all. Like, letting Matt and Guard off is not justice, right? Like, it's your job. Sure, it's your job as a defense attorney to give your client a proper defense and a fair trial. But like, do you say what you believe? You know without a shadow of doubt at that point of the game that he's guilty.
He's guilty as hell. He's
Right.
admitted it to you. Lawyer, client, confidentiality. He's revealed his secret alternate persona. He's got scars over his eyes that are hidden by his hair.
Somehow he's a glass of brandy in
It
jail.
looks like chocolate milk.
Well, maybe it's orange juice from, well, it's circus.
Yeah.
But I like that as, like, screenshots I took is the last part of the trial is you are no longer worthy of your title. Where like giant judge is about to smash you with his gavel
In the callback nightmare.
in the callback. Right, exactly what you said earlier. And then defense attorney Phoenix Wright chooses death is something he says that he's worried about when he's got to make that choice.
And yeah, I really appreciate your interpretation of finding the truth as justice for all.
I a big softy.
That the possibility of the alternate ending there, I think really speaks to that theme of exactly what you just said. I won't repeat it again. It's good. The game turns itself around in a turnabout, you might say.
I did not appreciate this game 18 years ago. It was something I played on the train
Mm-hmm.
and like went through it. Like the case was the most memorable to me. And I didn't really remember this one. I remember Adrian Andrews because I was like an old teen. But like it hits a lot differently. And what did I write down? One last thing is a quote from one of the best TV shows ever, The Wire. Yo, a man's got to have a code.
True that.
Like the killer's got a code.
Mhm.
Edgeworth's got a code. Phoenix solidifies his code in this game.
Yeah.
And you'll see it in later games, like an Apollo Justice series and everything like that. Replaying this game makes more sense to me now, Apollo Justice.
it's good to know. 'Cause, yeah, I haven't gotten
Mhm.
there yet.
And that's my take.
It's a good take. In extremely minor things to talk about in this game. Did anyone else pick up on the transceiver on the witness stand looking like the killer?
No, the zipper face.
So I don't know if the zipper face is really explicitly designed into the transceiver, but the eye, it's got one
Yeah.
square dial and one round dial, implying his monocle. the speaker changes sizes like his mouth would. If anyone's just listening to this and hasn't played this game, you should go look up just like the little a video of Shelley the Killer on the witness stand as the like speaking through the transceiver. It's very good. I could keep talking about this thing forever. Like, these games buried themselves in my psyche decades ago. I love them to bits, even when they're terrible. But in the interest of not rambling like loons forever, I suppose.
Yeah.
I suppose I can stop.
So overall, despite our complaining, we still like this game, despite Case 3.
Despite Case 3. We're past it. We're through it now. We never have to talk about Mo Larry Curls ever again.
Yeah, I just have a guide open for that one because I think it's the one that suffers the most from bad adventure game stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Excuse me, Larry Mo Curls.
oh god, yeah.
I love the puns. Forget both of y'all. I love the puns.
I like
Did
the
I
puns as
ever
well.
say I hated puns? No.
I don't know,
The puns are the best. No, I'm just trying to harp on the Three Stooges reference there.
Any objections?
I mean, it's the last word of the game, so if we're finishing out, go for it.
Take it away.
No objections to this game. I mean, as I said, I've bought it at least 3 times. I am kind of sad that I didn't play the last one, but it was different. And watching it on YouTube in speed let me think about it in ways which I didn't anticipate. Like, I didn't read a walkthrough and I just came about my feelings about it genuinely. And this game makes me look really forward to. I don't really remember the game, but I do remember the Apollo Justice series, at least like the circumstances of where Phoenix Wright is at the beginning of the game. And now it makes a lot more sense to me because of this game. And that's kind of my final word on how I feel about Justice for All.
Yeah, maybe I'll actually replay Trials and Tribulations, because, yeah, I guess I don't remember it as well as I thought.
Or at least watch it through. I should do some popcorn.
Ooh, we should watch the anime.
Oh, I forgot that was a thing.
Maybe we should all do that in real time together.
I would enjoy that.
Bonus anime, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'll go to New Jersey for that, maybe. So what are you guys playing now?
All my time and dedication and devotion currently are going into Pokemon Legends ZA, because at heart I am a sap for Pokemon specifically.
Jesus.
It's good. It's a good game. It's a lot of fun. Go play it.
Yeah, and I just got neck deep into Europa Universalis 5, which is a glorious, complicated mess.
I'm really looking forward to playing Dispatch now that Ace Attorney's done.
Oh, go for it. My wife's been playing that, and she loves it and wants me to play it as well.
Oh, Lynx, you should play Her Story if you haven't. You should listen to our thoughts about the game Her Story, as you can find on our podcast, Flatfoots and Fools.
I mean, once I connected with you guys about this podcast and episodes started going up, I could actually start listening to them. Except I got to the problem of like, wait, no, this game sounds awesome. I can't finish the podcast episode because now I want to go play it.
Yep.
Which is why we changed the format of this podcast, by the way.
I appreciate it because Darkside Detective sounds really cool.
It is. And they just released another game last month. The Seance at Blake Manor.
Oh, yeah. We've been looking forward to that.
Yes. We will inevitably get to it.
So I'm going to have to go play that one.
I'll admit, though, these 20-hour plus games to meet a deadline is rough. But I promise one day all of us will finish everyone's request, which is Disco Elysium.
Disco Elysium.
It's, analysis paralysis, bro.
It's real. So, Lynx, where can we find you on the internet if there's anything you want to highlight?
Well, not only can I be found in the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney episode of this show, but also I'd like to highlight the Animorphs podcast, Never Morphed, where host Will Williamson is a full-ass adult who had not read the Animorphs series before now, is going through the books as a queer, polyam, cool person just in general. And I'm going to be on one of those episodes in the future. So
Awesome.
I have also not read that series, so I will probably listen to it because, you're cool.
Well, thank you. I probably won't be in an episode for another 10 books, so it might be a year in the future, but just go listen to the podcast now if you wanna, because it's great, even when I'm not on it.
Yeah, will do. And you can find us on Blue Sky at Flatfoots and Fools, one word. Podcast is edited by Peter Crevier. Podcast art by Lolita Gross. And music by Antonic Music. Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me back. I look forward to this every time.
It's a pleasure.